Yes, folks, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Please do like and subscribe, it's down there. And good news, yeah, I said yesterday my book is now published, but it's only published on Kindle at the moment. But it is there on Amazon, HMP Manchester Prison Officer Part 3, on Kindle. It will be published in paperback later this week, I believe. Now, I'm talking today about HM Prison Liverpool, which is a jail that I have experienced. I was there in, I think it was 1981, when I conducted my prison hospital officers training course, which was based at HMP Liverpool, which was built, by the way, completed in 1855, and I have to say, my experience of HMP Liverpool is that it was the dirtiest, filthiest, stinking, horrible, rat-infested shithole I'd ever worked in. And I'd been in a few. The scrubs was bad, especially C Wing, where they kept the paraffin lamps, the tramps, you know. But HMP Liverpool, it seemed everywhere you went, there was food thrown on the floor by the inmates who were extremely ill-disciplined. The staff were having difficulty coping. There was a shortage of staff even then in Liverpool. And it was, generally speaking, a dirty place. As I said, one of the filthiest dumps I'd worked in. I also found that the staff were extremely aggressive towards the inmates, well, understandably, because the inmates were extremely aggressive towards the staff. The problem with HMP Liverpool, I found, was that there was an extreme diversity of the inmates, and that they were forming themselves into cliques. You know, like they had like gangs. I'm sure that it's gone a great deal worse since then. Now, HMP Liverpool, as it is now known, His Majesty's Prison Liverpool, holds over 1,000 inmates, 1,100 I believe at the last count, and it is a Category B. It was a Category A, but it's now a Category B prison, and it had in its past been used as a place of execution, and the last execution took place in 1964, April 1964, when the inmate executed was Peter Anthony Allen, and his accomplice Owen Evans was executed at Strangeways, simultaneously hanged. They were hanged on the 13th of August of 1964. They were convicted for the murder of a man called John Allen West in April 64. So it didn't take long, did it, from the actual conviction to hanging them by the neck until they were dead, and then they were buried within the grounds of the prison because it was unconsecrated ground, you see. They weren't buried in a churchyard. So HMP Liverpool, it's still going strong today, and although there was a recent report saying that it is vastly improved, I can't believe that it is going to be a great deal better than it was. During World War II, an interesting little fact about HMP Liverpool. During World War II, there were 22 inmates killed when German bombs exploded on one of the wings and caused it to collapse. There were 22 inmates killed. The body of one was not found until 11 years later when they finally cleared the rubble. So you can imagine that. With regards to its location, it's located, it used to be called WALTON Jail, so it's in the area of Liverpool known as WALTON. I previously had some dealings with the MP for WALTON when he asked me to investigate the incidents of National Front membership at Strangeways, because the prison system was rife with people who were members of this ridiculous far-right pseudo-fascist group. And the leader of that little movement at Strangeways was a principal officer called Brian Baldwin. You can see images of Brian Baldwin. You'll see him on episode 3 of the BBC documentary Strangeways, where he stood on the central rotunda discussing matters with the governor, the notorious Norman Brown. So you can have a look at Brian Baldwin there if you wonder what he looks like. People often ask me, what does Bootsy look like? Well, Series 3, you'll see Bootsy Brown expounding his theories about why prison officers are harsh and a little bit strict with the prisoners, because he believes that the left-wing the people of the left wing have got a whip hand, which in actual fact wasn't really the case. Certainly not at Strangeways, they didn't have the whip hand. So that's my little jabber about HMP Liverpool, Walton Jail. One of the most famous inmates was, of course, Brendan Behan, the Irish playwright. He wrote The Old Triangle, which is a poem from one of his plays. I believe it was the Dubliners. Not the group, the actual play. The Old Triangle goes jingle jangle all along the banks of the old canal. Yeah, I'm now going to... don't forget to get my book, folks. It's an essential read, especially for all people who aren't reading my books. But I'm now going to read you a poem. That's a little song dinger there. This is a spiritual poem by William Wordsworth. This is an extract from Intimations on Immortality. Now, being a spiritualist as I am, I absolutely believe that there is no such thing as death. There is eternal life. And this was made out by William Wordsworth in his poem Intimations on Immortality. Our birth is but a sleep and a forgetting. The soul that rises with us, our life's star, hath had elsewhere its setting, and cometh from afar, not in entire forgetfulness, and not in utter nakedness, but trailing clouds of glory do we come from God who is our home. Heaven lies about us in our infancy. Shades of the prison house begin to close upon the growing boy. But he beholds the light, and whence it flows he sees it in its joy. The youth who daily farther from the east must travel, still is nature's priest, and by the vision splendid is on his way attended. At length the man perceives it die away, and fade into the light of common day. I believe that what William Wordsworth is saying there is that as we progress from the east to the west, go west, young man, because the sun sets in the west, he's basically saying that the shades of the prison house are when we become socialised and we move away from the knowledge that we have as children, because children are aware of their coming. Yeah, trailing clouds of glory. I sincerely hope that you enjoyed today's little Tales from the Jails. This is John G. Sutton. We'll see you soon.